So Wahlstrom has been waived by the Boston Bruins, and I think, unfortunately, it just was the writing was on the wall there for Wahlstrom. Now, some could argue that he wasn't given a fair shake, could have been more given more opportunities to succeed in Boston. And while I do truly believe Wahlstrom is going to be a solid NHL level player, I just think right now with the Bruins, it wasn't making sense. For whatever reason, if fit just wasn't there, the coaches didn't have enough trust in him to give him a longer leash. I think Wahlstrom has all the tools to be at least an adequate third liner at the NHL level, but it just really hasn't materialized. And it was a great story. Local kid coming back to New England. I mean, he grew up in Maine. He grew up a Boston Bruins fan. I mean, he had that big moment when he was very young, where in that shootout move, where the little spinorama fucking boom, beautiful goal. I get that. But at the same token, just on the ice right now, it wasn't working out. And I think this move allows somebody that's currently on the AHL roster to maybe have a bigger chance and a bigger role, and maybe they'll be given a longer leash. You know, this current iteration of the Boston Bruins team is an okay team. Do I think a contender? By no stretch of the imagination. But they have some guys in Providence having a good year. And I think there's a balancing act with that. Do you want to break up that Providence Bruins team that could maybe win a Calder Cup this year and call them up into a Boston Bruins team that might not make the playoffs? I mean, there's a conversation to be had there. Personally, I would like to see maybe a guy like Merkulov be given a little bit more time, maybe play with Patra. You know, they had, some decent chemistry down the AHL. Maybe that works out, put some guys that are trying to prove themselves to the next level together, and maybe you get something more than you're currently getting. But I think when it comes to Wahlstrom, it was just a matter of time. He wasn't in the lineup for stretches. He wasn't given much ice time. And when he was out there, I mean, that last game against Toronto, he didn't have a great game. Bad penalty, and he's just invisible out there. I really wanted him to succeed. I really wanted him to do well in a Spoke B, but it just didn't turn out to happen that way. And regardless what I think, regardless of how I view him as a player, the Bruins decided to move on from him, and hopefully this gives another younger guy in the AHL currently a bigger look, or I should say a longer look. And who knows, maybe it could be some nice chemistry could be found there. But it just kind of sums up the Bruins team this year. Hey, a little bit of promise, but ultimately just not really panning out. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What did you think of this waiving? Do you believe that Wahlstrom deserved to be waived? Do you think he should have been given more time? I'd love to know your thoughts on Catholic policy. You in the next one.